We have yearly events, and together with the committee, we felt this was the right topic in this time and in this season for all of us. And I believe it's been very relevant.
How are you doing? Are you excited? I was actually out there for some time and I was listening what was going on inside here, and I felt like I should have been here earlier. But I can see most of you have books, you have notes, so it means we're going to learn more from each other, right? And I'll be here for the rest of the day, so yeah. Okay, so where do I start? I have a presentation, so as they prepare the presentation, maybe I might ask, how many of you have ever engaged with me on social media? Any platform? Interesting, can only see one person. Anyone else? On Facebook, on LinkedIn? Okay, we can try. Maybe, do you have internet? If you have internet, you have bundles, let's go to Google. I'm not gonna take you on Instagram, Facebook, let's just use Google. Search Janet Machuka. Anyone who has found me? Good. Hello, madam. Do you mind? Yeah, yes. What do you see? What is the first thing that you see? You can use the AI format or just go the normal format.
For the AI format, I see a description of you from 6 sites. And then the next thing that comes up is your website, your personal website.
Thank you. Branding, business, relationships in the digital era. When you talk about you as an individual, you as a person, what do you think first? Is your name, right? When someone asks you, who are you? Do you start from, oh, I have 3 cats. I live somewhere. You start with your name, right? My name is Janet Machuka. I do this and this and this. This is what I represent, and I love ABCD. Let's go to the next slide. I think already I have been introduced, and I really appreciate that. And you have already done our first task, which is Googling Janet Machuka. And maybe a fun fact, even if some of you might be thinking I sleep, wake up business all the time, or building brands and having conversations, I love cooking chapatis. So if you don't know how to cook chapatis, I can cook some for you and then send you away. So after this, I can have your number so that we can connect. I also love documentaries. And the more stories I love, as much as we have business stories that we talk about on the digital, I love stories that our grandmothers used to tell us a lot. I grew up in the village, so when it comes to stories, trust me, the ones about, funny thing, I'm sorry to say this, the witchcraft stories, the ones that used to scare us, the ones that used to remind us and teach us lessons, I know that, and I actually live some of them to date, because I think that is the best way to connect with people. When even I talk about growing up in the countryside, growing up from a place where culture was something that we really embodied. We can continue to the next slide. So in this session, I'm going to try to tap into the key things of building a personal brand or a business brand, turning freelancing skills into scalable business models. And I think this is where most of us usually say, I have these skills, but I don't know how to turn it into the income and also get more money. And that is where I also talk about tapping into multiple income streams. And then lastly, developing a strategic growth plan. We are here to grow and glow. It's glow and grow, but I'm glad I didn't say glow and glow. You can go to the next slide. So when it comes to building, first of all, I look at it from people. When you are a brand, as much as you have that name, you have those skills. I want you to also think about how can people help me tap into myself, tap into some things that I didn't know about me. And that's why most of us, we actually never started to build something until our friends were like, I think this will really look good on you. I think if you should try this, it will be important. So the building of relationships, I want you to think about it from the scratch, the moment you think about building your personal brand. Not after you build it and then you go like, okay, I need to build these relationships. No. Where do you start? The moment you think about that brand, you stepping out. So when it comes to branding, how do people experience you before you actually think about putting it on the digital platforms? Even going to the speaking engagement, how do people experience you? There are people who actually experienced me in one or the other, and they know that, yes, on social media, maybe I'm not really friendly on X. Some of them will say that. Friendly in a way that if you have to approach me, it's not from the human banter and trolls point of view. You have to find a way to have the conversation with me, which is now gives you part of your brand package. Who are you? How do you present yourself with people? So what's first thing people think of when they hear your name or your business name? When we call, okay, we are talking about, let's say, Joanne, the career coach. What do you think about her first from the interactions that you have had with her? Even if it has to be on social media, on the digital platforms. First things first, authenticity is something that everyone should live with all the time. Real stories build deeper connections. Yeah? And I look at connections, even the kind of friends we have, the ones who can come and just stay in the living room the entire time until they're gone, the ones who can come, get into your kitchen. There is something that we build deeper with them so that they got that confidence to stand up and pick the stuff and pick the utensils from the dining table, take them to the kitchen, and even think about washing them. Don't we have such friends, ladies? We do. But there are some we know very well, we can never allow them to get into our kitchen. Consistency. When it comes to consistency, there's something I was talking to someone about yesterday. You know, most of the people look at being on the digital and building brands from a point of, I want to go viral. Who told you going viral is a strategy? Unless you have a lot of people to talk about you at the same time. But when it comes to building a brand that stays and lives longer, you have to think about consistency. And the consistency has to be instilled from the point of the values. What are your values? What do you stand for? And what is your visual like? What is your voice? If you're speaking to people, is there a way you connect with them in a tone that is friendly, professional? Yeah? If it's humorous, how do you infuse the humor and entertainment into it? And all, of course, the touch points that make you who you are as a brand. One thing I usually tell people when it comes to branding, if you look at it from a point of the way you are in the offline is what you pick and present in the digital space. Of course, you have to select exactly what do you want to talk about or do you want to present. It makes it easier for you not to overthink branding. Because right now, most of us are going to the digital platforms to experience you. Because we don't have enough time to meet you, enough time to connect. Everyone is becoming so busy. And growing, I think growing old is something different. I miss being a child, honestly. Because I knew a few things, but I could still play around with people. Nowadays, coffees, how many of us usually push coffees even 10 times and we forget that coffee even existed? Most of us, because we have a lot of things that we have to deal with, that is responsibilities. Relevance. What is your message when it comes to who you are talking to in the digital platforms? Right now we are at least 4 generations. I think, let's not add the alpha. We have the X, we have the millennials, and then we have the Gen Zs. But let's not forget that there are some boomers on the digital spaces. Yeah? There's a way we also need to find a way we package that information. When you talk about something, they feel involved. I know we keep on talking about, target the Gen Zs, but the question is, are millennials not people on those platforms? So can you find a balance? One post can focus on the Gen Zs, another one can focus on the millennials, another one can talk about the boomers, or you can just find a balance. So the messaging really brings out now that authenticity in you and how you package it and how you engage with them. The emotional connection. The reason why some of us value some people on the digital platforms without even meeting them is that emotional connection that we have. And there is something beautiful about having an emotional connection with someone. Not from a love point of view, but that approach of I can trust someone. And that is where now the emotion comes from and the connection, the trust. Some of us trust some people on digital to a point that whatever they say, we'll do it. Right? But honestly, these are people we never met. We have never had a close contact. So the emotional connection can actually help you to tap into the next person's feelings, emotions, and also speak from a point of, I am in your shoes, even if I'm not wearing them, okay? So look at example of Safaricom. I'll use it as an example. I think M-Pesa was also used. There's a way M-Pesa authentically speaks to almost everyone, right? So can you pick a brand, even if it can be business, it can be an individual, there are people who connect with you better. So think about how can you tap into what they have done and how you can package yourself to also be better. And I think I tell people this all the time. Even if you want to learn from Janet Machuka, don't yearn to be like her, yearn to be better than her. That's why some of us left our teachers in school, because we no longer wanted to be teachers. We want to do something different, right? Yeah. And you can go to the next slide. So on the building relationships, think about networking and contacts. Most of us think about networking just in events. Think about the contacts just in events. I'll give you a very good example that I used on how to build networking and contacts on the digital platforms. There are people sometimes I feel they are far away for me to reach. Or sometimes I don't even know how to talk to them. And we are building now in the digital platforms. And we don't have enough time to meet people like today. First things first, follow them. Because one thing about following, you can follow someone, but there's nothing much that comes out of it. After you follow them, think about engaging with their posts. And this is what I mean by engaging. Forget about the likes, forget about the retweeting or reposting, sharing. Think about your mind. And I think that is the best place for you to think about branding and building on the digital platforms. Some of us don't have the numbers, we don't have the audience, but there are people who have already done it. So the question is, can we leverage their presence to actually do better? This is what I mean. I'll use an example of LinkedIn, since I think most of us look at LinkedIn as a very good professional platform. People have opinions, and we always look at it as an opinion platform because everyone is sharing their experience and all that. And then some of us constantly, when they're told, oh, go comment, go say something, we go like, oh, this is amazing, congratulations. And another one will be like, I like what you said, but what if we look at it from this point of view? Or someone will be like, okay, I don't like what you posted. I appreciate your mindset, but I don't think that is the right way. Why? Most of us, even if it has to be Instagram, the likes of Nairobi gossip clubs, we will see a post, but where are we interested in? The comment section. Yeah? That's where the juice is. That's where everything is going down. So can we go to the comment section? The same thing even on LinkedIn, on Facebook. The comment section is more juicer than even the post itself. So, and that is where we find people and we'll be like, wow, I love the way you're thinking. I love the way you're bringing out this comment. Maybe they were not the owner of the main post, but we will go all the way to their profile. We're like, okay, who are you? What do you do? What do you post? And then I'll be like, because I like the way you say things, I will want to check on what you post on an everyday. That is how you pull people to network with you, to now think about having your contact. That digital footprint, be it even a name, a handle, that is your contact. Your contact is not just your phone number. Because there are so many people who have asked you for your phone number, but they have never called you after that event. It happens. So can you look at it from that point of view? True relationships build out of the trust, not just the contacts, the community. And that's the best way to start building your own community. One thing I noticed when I was building on X, and X is a very tough space to actually build as a woman, because you don't know what people are going to say the next thing. You post you have nice shoes, maybe you forgot and your toes were looking, I don't know where. There's you think that for you were focusing on, I look nice, I look amazing. And then someone will be like, that toe that was out looks like an elephant. You're like, we were just talking about how nice I look, right? Or maybe how I'm dressed. But that is what it is. People will always find something to talk about. So find a way to build communities. The best way to build a community is not to actually push yourself to build it. Right now we have so many communities. We have podcasts. We have people who run webinars. We have people who run X-Space conversations, LinkedIn lives, Instagram lives. Join. And I usually tell people this. Once you join a community, don't be like, yes, I'm a member, adding another number. Be a member who speaks up. I built a community way back from 2018 when I think COVID-19 hadn't hit us actually by then. And some people became like, that is like their household, their space to go and talk and ask questions. There are people who made it like, okay, I'm going to join this space and I must share my opinion from time to time. What's the beauty about talking in a community or expressing yourself? People remember those who speak up. People remember those who asked a question that maybe they feared asking. I'm not saying that everyone should be the same. There are people who do it differently. They might not speak up, but there's a way they connect with people behind the scenes. Yeah? Because I used to have social anxiety. Till to date, I usually cancel a lot of my coffee dates. Because I'm like, I don't know what this person is going to talk about. I don't know what they will think about me. I overanalyze myself before I step out. I went to the digital platforms thinking I was hiding. As a journalist, I just wanted to end up behind the scenes editing stuff and writing articles. But again, tried to hide behind the keyboard, and then everything changed. So I had to teach myself. So give yourself some grace to also learn. Because personal branding is not something you do it for a single day. And if someone told me that personal branding is something you build for 5 years, but now I don't think I will still be here. You build it slowly by slowly. Some people will say they have built it in 3 years and then they have done a lot of things. Your journey is different. Okay? You can go to the next slide. So how do we build these meaningful relationships? Engage genuinely. I think I've already talked about that. Be thoughtful with your comments. The congratulations, I like your work, nice job, they're no longer making sense. Add more. But if the post wanted us to write that, why not? Write the congratulations. Share insights. People might ask, am I going to learn all this by myself and share these insights? There are so many documents and surveys, reports on the digital, or maybe from the conversations you have with your friends. Honestly, there are things we learn from our friends, but we keep quiet. We think that that was just for me to learn. What if someone else out there needed those insights? Share them. Even if you have not, that's actually one way of practicing them. Go back to my community. I use my community a lot to explain to you how I was able to build now the genuine conversations with people. When I started digital marketing, it's not like I was already an expert. And I think this word expert comes in after some time, people calling you, you don't call yourself an expert, honestly. That's one thing I've learned about life. It's very hard to call yourself an expert unless people start realizing you're actually an expert in that area, right? So after sometimes I will go learn in class and then I'll come to the social media platforms and share what I have learned. That is an insight I shared. I didn't say I'm sharing it because I know everything, but because I learned and I want to pay it forward. I want somebody else to learn. The celebrating achievements, another thing. It's okay to celebrate yourself. But I think sometimes some of us feel like we don't have anything to celebrate ourselves about because everyone is talking about masters. Others are talking about a new job. We are here, no masters, no job, no nothing. Celebrate other people. That's how you pull people in, because that person or those individuals have their presence you can leverage. Okay? Show genuine interest in people's projects. That is how you build the relationships. It's not just telling them, oh, I like your work, and then after that, no any other conversation, communication, connection afterwards. Offer value before asking for favors. I think right now, most of us, and sometimes I blame some of us on the digital platform because of what we have done and how we speak to the audiences. We come up, we tell you, don't take something less than this amount because you have got a skill on digital. We tell you, get your rate card at this point, you know. But the question is, how did they build themselves? I had to show a lot of value before some people invested in me. The community that I built conversations every Wednesday, imagine doing a conversation every single Wednesday for 1 or 2 hours, no one is paying you. But it was because of the love of communities. And I think what actually helped me to think beyond is that these people who are joining to learn, some of them you find that they just have, let's say 2 followers, 10 followers, but they are the CEOs. They're the business owners trying to find information on what they're lacking in their businesses so that they can invest in someone. So sometimes when you think that whatever you are doing is not important, even if 5 people show up, you're doing an amazing job. So go for it. Lead with generosity, but also know to what limit this generosity goes. There are some of us who are so generous to a point that we give and give and give, and then by the time we wake up, we're like, we have gained nothing. You are just giving. Have a strategy. We'll talk about the strategy bit where we need to balance the generosity of giving for free and also for plowing back. That is the income aspect of it. Follow up after collaborations. After this is a collaboration actually, as much as I'm here as a speaker. I'm looking at it as a collaboration because someday I'll need someone from this podium, from this audience, to also collaborate with me on some conversations. Because there are things they can teach my audience, and there are some things they can teach their audiences. So always look at collaborations as a way to maintain the connections. Send a thank you, share outcomes, and maybe come up with a way you can nurture each other from time to time. Be consistent and visible. Consistency builds recognition and trust, leading to opportunities. Consistency is not posting 10 posts per day. Consistency is actually telling people and showing them that I'm here, even if it has to be 1 post in a week. Okay? Be in front of people. There are people who honestly sometimes they don't post, but they are in people's comment section. Do you know that is consistency too? Because that is you posting, but you're not posting on your timeline, you're posting on other people's timelines. And nowadays, if you look at how the algorithm and conversations have turned into, the more you converse in other people's comments, sometimes it pushes more into your platform. Look at businesses. There are businesses on Instagram, I have loved how they're building it. It's not about you posting and then be like, wait for people to come and respond. They're thinking of how can we build this community? Step away from the timeline, your own timeline. Go to other people's comment section. And for businesses, this is what you can do. You post on your timeline, yes, and you wonder, should I look for other businesses who are doing the same thing and then I comment on their posts? That's not what I'm saying. There are individuals who are building their own personal brands. Leverage their platforms as a business to get more eyeballs, to get more people seeing you, people interacting with you. Fun fact, people always get fascinated when a business comments on somebody's posts. Because they're like, wow, what are you doing here? What do you do? And then we jump onto their maybe platform, their timeline, and then we peruse, we scroll a bit, and you're like, I like what you're doing, and I like the way you are a human-centered. You are beyond just posting, but you're also into conversations. Good. Write down 3 people you admire in your field. I want you to write down 3 people you admire in your field. Be it online. Maybe there are people from Nigeria, people from South Africa, but you admire what they do. And then go with this question. I want you to, this will be for your own exercise for the next few months. How can you build a genuine relationship with them within the next 6 months? How can you build a genuine relationship, be it on the online, even if it has to be asking or requesting for them to take you through a 30-minute coaching session, depending on what you want. That's a task I've given you to go think about. And that is one pointer on how we are going to build this meaningful relationship. So you can go to the next slide. How many of us who have learned digital skills, different skills, be it you have learned on how to create content, how to build communities? Anyone? Good. Some of us who have been getting few gigs from such skills? Good. One thing you have seen most of the time, you notice that there are people who start from the freelancing space. And nowadays, there are so many professionals who are doing gig job. They have a main job, but they have gigs. MCing during weekends, right? You've seen some people do that. Coaching sessions in the evenings, doing a webinar conversation, and then you are getting paid, right? That is still freelancing. And some of them have learned digital skills, have put them into practice, and now they're thinking of turning them into a business. Because they have understood how to connect with people, how to build relationships. They have mastered how to go about.
Sold me very nice fish at some point. And I need to understand, as a small-scale business person who sells fish, how do you achieve visibility for you to grow your business? Maybe like 3 pointers.
Good question. There's one beauty thing about food, and this is something I've noticed most of us do. The moment we get someone who we buy from, we never change. We'll buy from even if 5 years down the line. And if you look at the moment, people are trying to get particular sources where they trust their foods to come from, and then they will buy them from time to time. Those are actually your best people to talk about when it comes to visibility. Now, I'm not even looking at the digital platform. I'm looking at now the word of mouth. Because at the end of the day, after all this digital branding and presence, what works the most is the word of mouth. So these customers, some of them, maybe you have never even extended of asking them, do you have some friends who like some samaki? Yeah? And the moment you tell them, maybe they'll be like, by the way, guys, there's somewhere I usually buy masemaki, maybe with their friends, and then they will be buying them. They will be buying them from you. So visibility from you should think about the word of mouth first. I know you have a specific place where you sell them, but the word of mouth is very important. I started buying, there's this mama somewhere at Dagoretti who sells fish. She started supplying fish in Nairobi way back, like 5 years ago. And the moment I started buying from her, it has been very hard for, even if I find other fish somewhere which is cheaper and all that, I'm like, no, I can't. I can't, what's this, that word is, I can't cheat on my main person. There's beauty about human beings, especially when they have the connection with you. And also that narrows down to how do we serve them. From how we serve them, from time to time. I know there are sometimes you'll be like, chukua na hii ndogo, uende upatie mtoto. That kidogo, do you know, for them it means a lot. So that, and then now extension of, oh, do you have some of your friends the conversation expands from now you selling to now you becoming a friend, so that they can think about you first. Every time there's a function, maybe a birthday, they think about your samaki first. Yeah. So we can start the visibility from there. Digital is okay, you can build the visibility on digital, but again, I will tell you for sure, I have dealt with so many small businesses. We have been on digital 5-6 months down the line, but you find that we get few clients at that times because people still trust that touch. Yeah.
Two more. There's one here that is talking about career transition, and she's asking, what are the practical steps to handle a transition in career, even in branding?
Good. That's where I'm at, but I'm not changing my brand and all that. But I'm going through a transition I think I've been calling myself a lot and being in the limelight for digital marketing, consultancy and training, and I'm trying to transition back to comms and PR in the in NGO space. And at first it sounded amazing and easy, but there are things that I've learned from the women that I've met, the men that I've met, who have helped me understand it. First things first, have a meeting within yourself. Understand that when you're transitioning, you can't just kill the other side of you at once and be like, poof, now I'm changing to another space. Transitioning is just like the journey that you're building your brand. It takes a step at a time. By the time people should know that you're transitioned, you should have already got more clients on this other end and fewer on the one that you are transitioning from. That's one thing I learned. Another thing is learning and upskilling. This helps you a lot to understand more about where you are heading to. And the other one, now you try to do it on the behind the scenes, more of mentorship. And I think that's what has helped me also, mentorship. Another thing is, you see the network we kept on talking about? And how we talked about niching and the kind of areas that we linked them to. Create relationships with those people. And this is something I started doing it a long time ago, but I never looked at it beyond until when I thought about transitioning. This idea of the first quarter of every year, that's January, February mostly, I usually go back to clients I've worked with for the past 3 years, and then I do just a call. Hi, how are you? How are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Just the connection. I don't tell them much. Happy New Year. Some of them go like, why were you even thinking about me? I don't even have a project that I'm working on. I'm like, no, it's not about a project. I want to keep you as a contact for the longest so that I can learn something. Sometimes those are the people who teach you because they have friends who can help you. And there's nothing amazing like when someone tells you have someone who can help you. Those are people who are willing to help you. And that has also helped me understand the power of people and emotional connection. Because that, at the end of the day, is what's going to teach you a lot of things. Like, the people will be like, okay, what makes people get to become consultants in the NGO space? One of the things I learned is that to be a consultant, you have to go above your degree. You have to be in your master's. You have to think about working in the adding your PhD. You can be so good in your degree or undergrad or diploma, but again, the way they select people, education is very important. So understand that when you're transitioning, is it that the education you need? Is it the people? Is it a way, it's like a strategic and intentional way on how to transition. Add more value to this as you let go of the other one. But again, some people will always remember you from the first thing. So can you have someone stand by when they reach out, they are able to help you in that area? Because I will never, ever, ever stop being a digital marketing consultant as much as I want to transition. People will still call me that. So I have to find a way to still take care of their needs. Until when that time, maybe I get 2, 3, 0 clients from that. Yeah.
So I think the last one, Janet, maybe you can take maybe a minute because you have addressed it in the other questions. She's talking about brand personalization and tone. That is how to grow and stay relevant.
Okay, should add more. How to grow and stay relevant.
Yeah.
Help people who are below you. That's what I usually tell people, because one thing I've understood and learned about growth and evolving, the people below you are the ones who challenge you a lot. They will ask you a lot of questions, but they will challenge you to go find out and do your own research. People above you inspire you. People who are at the same level of you, they help you understand that you need to do better. Because there's always this kind of competition between each other, which is healthy. But take care of people who are below you, because these are the people who take care of you. These are people, when they are in meetings, as much as they are employed, they are no consultants, and then they're trying to make a decision of the next project campaign they're working on, they will be like, I think Janet will be the right person. And the moment people speak about your name in the boardroom, that's it. You're the right person, because they trust their team member. So find a way to take care of people below you. And people below you doesn't mean in terms of education, but in terms of people who are not experts as you in that particular area or niche. Yes.
Thank you so much, Janet. A round of applause for Janet Machuka. Thank you so much. For the other questions, you can see her.
And technology, and also now the multiple income streams, where we are getting to the next slide. You can go to the next slide. So definitely the transition map, especially from freelancing to business, because everyone aspires to build a business at some point in life, right? Defining your niche and expertise is very key. But this is what sometimes I say about niche. You can choose, let's say you want to be in the agricultural space, you want to operate there. But I also want you to think broad. When it comes to niching, what does it really mean? Does it mean you have to be just an agriculturalist for the rest of your life? No. There's a way I have been trying to approach niching to a point that it can also help you scale and grow your network more. Let's say I'll pick agriculture still as a way that as an industry we want to specialize in, right? So write down agriculture, and then look at the agriculture and see what other 3 or 4 industries that are closely related to that, or that can feed into the main niche that you are in. Actually, now that's you thinking about how can I get more money. There are people who are in the finance space, yeah? They know very well, this is something that I've learned about for like the last 6-7 years in campus. Now I'm doing it and I've experienced it. I'm going to my master's and all that. But again, they ask themselves, how can I make more money? How can I build myself into a business? Because you can be your own business. It doesn't have to be a physical place for you to call it a business. Your skills are your business. So we were in the agriculture. Now I'm looking at what other industry is related to it. Climate change. Good. Which other one is related to agriculture? Because we are talking, when you talk about agriculture, we're looking at the environment. We're looking at the surrounding. We are looking at the food. What comes into mind? Health, right? So we got another facet, health. Okay, now we have the health, we have the climate change, and we are still on the agriculture. What else can we encompass, put in our circle? Anything else? Money, right? There should be money for us to understand all this. If I'm in the agricultural space, I understand bits on how to go about money, right? Same case, climate change, investment. And I'm talking actually louder. Let us not just blanket to money. Let's talk about investment, funding, conversation. You will understand that the moment you talk about funding, you can also, in your climate facet, you can also talk about funding. Health, funding. Agriculture, funding. Don't you have 4 ways you can operate? Don't you have 4 ways you can make money? Not just the agriculture one. So think from, yes, this is the main thing, but I can have other things I can make money from. I'm a digital marketing consultant, but if you ask me how many things that I do, so many things. And that is why sometimes, yes, I can't forget to say that I am a journalist, because there are times I find people who need PR and comms expert or specialist who understands the aspect of digital marketing. Can't I operate in that? I can, right? So find a way to always balance your area with other things that you can closely relate, because this also helps you expand your network and also grow yourself in a way that it's not just your name, but also your stream of income. Create service packages. Transition from custom quotes to structured, easy buy offerings. People will ask you to send your proposal or send your quote. Today you say, I charge 20K. Next week, someone else go, 100K. The other week, 200,000. You need something that helps you understand to what extent can I go low and to what extent I can go high. Because at the same time, it will guide you to grow as you learn. Yeah? Don't say, I'm going to charge this 5,000 and then you charge 5,000 for the next 6 years. Give yourselves room to grow so that in your growth, your income grows. That's why a rate card, or rather, more of a structured quote, structured rate for yourself is really important. And it's good to have one, but I'll try to let people have at least 3. Why 3? As an individual and as a business, you're going to deal with different people. Small businesses, the ones who are just starting, the ones who are on the mid-level, and the ones who are on the high end. Learn from those relationships you created. Ask them, how much do you charge if it's this client, okay? So that at least you can understand, and also it helps you think about you. Maybe let's say they said, oh, they charge 200,000. You'll be like, that's too much. I would have charged 20,000, right? And then you sit yourself down. And I think this is where coaching also helps a lot, and also mentorship. Sometimes mentorship and coaching needs you, not even people from outside. Ask yourself, what am I comfortable with? Because there are times when people mention numbers, we go like, hii naweza nisaidia, naweza enda Mombasa for like 1 week. Because they have given you according to what they charge. But at the same time, if you look at genuinely, if you were given that money, okay, Mombasa is a good choice, but you'll be like, I would rather stay with this relationship for the longest. I want this connection to stay, so that in the future, even if they don't give me a job or they don't give me a gig, they can always refer me to somebody else. So also factor that in. Build team or outsource. As an individual who is building a brand, growing the network, getting these businesses, there will get a time you're so overwhelmed with everything. Sometimes, honestly, you wish to do everything, but you can't. The reason why some of us in our homes delegate is because we can't manage. We need a helping hand. The same way. It's not like they're taking away your money. Honestly, what is the essence of doing a lot of work under pressure, and then you end up doing another therapy session, spending more money because you are too stressed, you can't sleep, you just wanted to have the money to yourself. So think about having teams that can help you scale. Develop brand identity. Create professional assets, logos. Okay, logos are good. Nowadays, I usually tell people, okay, a logo is good, but think about an identity in terms of presence, okay? Because people feel presence more than they feel the logos. People take connections, conversations, that emotional connection we talked earlier, more than the logo itself. But if you need to have like a specific face across your social media platforms, go with it. If it's a face that is your picture, your name, your bio, have it similar throughout. If you want a website, create it. But even social media page accounts, or maybe that profile, that's your own website. So don't have the pressure to create the website just because someone who has been in the industry for 10 years already has a website. Managing a website is not so easy. You have to keep on updating. You have to get someone to keep on changing the plugins. Paying, there's already also money. So think about just take a step at a time. At the end of the day, when you're building a brand, You don't have an end. That's one thing I know. You don't have an end. You can't say, after 10 years, I'm done with this thing, so I will be just there. There are people I've followed who started building their brands back in 1996. They're still building. It never stops. It's like, this is you living. And that's why I keep on saying, find a way you become so authentic about it, so that after year 3, you wouldn't be like, oh, I shared a wrong story. It was not even my story. I was faking it. And then you start shifting. So it becomes very hard for people to shift with you, because you can't continue living a lie. Try all your best to just live you. Okay? No pressure, no nothing, live you. And I think that is where you find that sometimes we end up with a lot of clout chasing, because we can't keep up with people. We never lived ourselves. We lied to them. Now what do we do for them to stick around? Clout chase. And sometimes it's not the best thing. It puts a lot of pressure for you. Some of us might be thinking, oh, they're living good, all that things is happening amazing on the digital. But the moment the cameras are switched off, what happens? You never know if they have therapists. You never know. So live as authentic as you can be, so that it can be easier for you to even develop an identity. Okay? We can, now, a freelancer designer becomes a creative agency offering full branding and digital storytelling. Good. I love this example because some of us think that if I choose to be a designer, I'll just end up in the clothing industry. That is creativity. You know that? That's creativity. In the moment you gel it up with some of the digital skills, do you know you can build a creative agency for models? Or even not just a creative agency. Personal image, it's called personal branding and image coaches. And they are consultants. There are people, honestly, some of us have no business thinking of what we want to wear tomorrow. We don't know. Because we remove all the clothes from the closet, we're like, we can't find any. But there's somebody somewhere will be like, no, I know what you can wear. Even if it has to, and then maybe also outsourcing. Some of us know the only places we can go and buy stuff. You wear that dress to an event like this, and then you find 3 more people wearing, and then you go like, I thought I was the only person. But sometimes you find that these image consultants are the ones who helps you find other places. So if it has to be identifying someone to work with, that the better. But always look at it from a point of your business or your skill can transform to something totally different. Just stay innovative and be open to learning. Okay? We can continue. So we are building our sustainable income flow. An active income is an income where we're looking at, can I get exchange with my time and my expertise? It's an immediate compensation. We're not looking at 10 years from now. I do my service, you pay me, we are done. Passive, the ebooks, the courses, templates. There are so many people here who have skills to teach, but it's the fact that some of our friends have not realized that we can teach, and push us to actually think about teaching. Right? Everyone was born a teacher. There's something you can teach someone, even if it has to be chapati. So in this, you sell them, you don't look at it selling like, oh, I'm selling 10 books today. You just hope that the income will build because it's something that is part of your brand. Your course, even if it has to be a webinar, conversation, even if it has to be you being a speaker. Community-based income, paid membership, exclusive events. This is a community. Building a loyal community sometimes involves sessions like this one. Can they learn more? And in learning, you have to invest, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to get out of this place with at least your belly is smart, is smiling, it ate chicken that is fried and you have not taken after some time. So paid memberships. There are people who choose to have membership membership clubs where from time to time they can do different activities. But of course, that's also income if you look at what you're spending versus what is remaining. Because at the end of the day, people don't do things for fun. They do things also looking at the sustainability aspect of it. Affiliate and referral income. If your network that you build or you're building is not going to help you get the next client, change that network. Some of us think networks is just us going and looking for the other stylists and we connect with them. They're also looking for clients. They can't refer us, honestly. What we can do is learn from them, right? But in referring us, who is going to refer us when it comes to such? Our customers, the people who get the value out of us, the people who actually have no business doing whatever that we are doing. Yeah. But the people who are doing the same thing as us, if they reach out to them, they'll be like, I'm the right person to actually go with. Not in a bad way, everyone is building. So be strategic on how you work with the aspect of affiliate and referral income. How can people refer you? And how can you build something that if someone refers someone, you get money out of it? It can be even the system. You have online tools, platforms where you can do affiliate marketing. But the only problem is in Kenya, we don't like affiliate marketing. We believe it's a scam. Yeah, right? Because you're like, these people, the person at the top might be lying. But if you look at nowadays, we are now doing it even from our service point of view. It doesn't have to be a product, but it can be a service where you find a way, if your friend has referred you to a client, you can strike a deal. Be taking like 10%. And then you can take the 80. That's good business, right? Content monetization. So many of us don't know that you can monetize content on Facebook, on Meta. I wish I would have done such a session on content monetization, but that's a task I will leave you with. Go on YouTube, search on how to monetize your content. And it doesn't mean you have to sit and create cooking content all the time to be monetized. You can monetize as long as you have presence and you're engaging audience. Okay? So go learn on content monetization on Facebook. On TikTok, I've seen TikTok does that, YouTube with the ads. Even on X, it does that monetization, though for it, sometimes it's very hard to come by. To even get 10,000 in a month, sometimes it's hard. So I love the likes of YouTube, especially because for it, content is long term. Yeah, monetize content creation via platforms and brand partnerships. But lately, I think influencer marketing has gone low and content collaborations, and I think it's because now everyone is enlightened, and we are no longer chasing people who have followers to teach us stuff. We are finding out by ourselves. We are looking for people who are having authentic conversations. We are finding the pages. So if it comes by, well and good. But for some of us who started it way back in 2016, we have eaten good money. But right now, I'll tell you for sure, content collaborations are really reduced. Yeah, most brands are not looking at it as an option, but still, there are brands now who are looking for people who are starting. That's the beauty about the monetization aspect. Nowadays, they don't want to deal with the celebrities. You're like, these people have been overused to a point that wherever they post something, it's like, we know you are selling, you're paid, and we don't even take interest into it. But when it's somebody who is starting and then you come across it as just an authentic conversation, it becomes easier. So it's still good to think about that, but at the end of the day, it narrows down to the niche that we talked about. How do you package yourself? What do you talk about? What conversations do you have on your timeline? What skill can you transform into a product or service? Go ask yourself that question. What skill? There are people who are weaving. There are people who are knitting. But they knit for fun. And sometimes they start sharing it on social media. And then people are like, I love that cape. I love the way you did that sweater. There is a lady who knits. I started seeing her content on X, I think. And then knitting is expensive. Knitting is expensive in one way, time and maybe the threads and all that. But do you know someone can sell a sweater for 7,000-10,000? Honestly, I go to Vivo. They have very nice knitted sweaters. How much is that sweater? They start from 5,000, but there's one that goes for 8,500. Just knitting. Imagine if you're also knitting, because right now I think so many people are looking back and we are trying to go back to the fashion. Our fashion now is more of knitting, something nice, something amazing. And the unique stuffs are making people money. We can go to the next slide. I think my time is almost over, so I want to wrap up. Building a strategic and intentional plan. Think about your vision. Define your ideal future in 3 to 5 years. What do you want to be in the next 3 to 5 years? When I was starting a business, someone ever told me, give it 2 years for you to start seeing the profits. I was like, 2 years, a lot of time. I started this business because I want people to buy and get money next month. The 2 years is for you to learn. The 2 years for you to find the connections. The 2 years for you to fail. So that by the time it gets to the 3rd year, you understand the heartbreaks and you know how to deal with the emotions. Goals, set 3 specific goals. Set 3 specific measurable goals. Align with your vision. Now we are no longer in 2025. Think about 2026. Break goals into monthly actionable tasks. If monthly is a lot of times, do it weekly. Start with weekly if possible. And then go to monthly, quarterly, then after every 6 months. Resources, identify tools, mentors, communities for support. Please, if you can, find 10 communities on the digital that you can follow to be learning and to be engaging. No, 10 is too much on the digital. Find 5 on the digital, find 5 on the offline, physical. Then find, like this one, hopefully you're not gonna forget coming back to this community to learn and engage people. You never know. Measure. Establish clear metrics that track your process all the time. If it has to be your income, track it. Ask yourself questions. What happened? And I think some of us always think about tracking the numbers. Oh, I have 200 more followers. Poof, that's it. The question is, do you go further and understand who are these people and why they are following me? The analytics are just right there on your profile. But the question is, are you tracking? Next slide. On this one, I don't think I will go through it because of time. It's just basically the framework I tried to now share with you guys. I hope you can be able to access the document afterwards so that you can use it as a skeleton to understand what it means by being strategic and intentional with your planning framework. We can go to the next slide. Self-growth and career development. One thing, if you grow, your career grows. If you don't grow, we never know you. My journey, I keep on shifting, and at the moment I'm going through another transition. And that's the beauty about growing, actually. The moment you glow, you feel like, I'm at my peak, beaming, happy. Something again shifts, tells you, no, you need to change. You need to add something. You need to think of a different direction. So give yourself time to grow and understand your journey, and if possible, learn, add more skills every time. There are so many short courses you can do for 1 hour. Do them. Next slide. Keep learning. Practice emotional intelligence. Some of us tunakufa moyo anytime. Some of us become too emotional about our path and how we can make money out of what we are doing. Try your best to also be empathetic to yourself from time to time. Find people who can help you communicate better. Learn tech skills and all that. Embrace feedback and reflection. I have 4 people that I really adore a lot in my life. And these people they always have brutal conversations with me. Sometimes I sit down later and I'm like, hey, you alinionea hapa. But it really teaches me something after that. Because I'm like, I have these people for a reason. They're supposed to push me to a point of noticing that I need to stop being comfortable where I am. So find people who can help you get the raw feedback. Some of us online will lie to you, oh, this is amazing. But at the back of our minds, are like, you would have done something better. So if you can find, and that actually starts with the genuine connections and relationships you build. Prioritize your mental wellness, please. Everyone is chasing money. Everyone is looking at growing. Some people will grow very fast. And then they'll make you think that you are nothing. There's nothing you're doing. You started the same way, but they are 10 steps ahead. Take care of your mental health. Understand that your journey is unique for a reason. And that is why every time we're doing national examination, we are given the same questions. Some people will score A and others. You know, right? Because we have different ways in how we are. We are unique in our own way. Take care of yourself. Your journey is unique. Take care of it. Grow it. So bringing it all together, what we were talking from the top, define your brand, build relationships, monetize your skills, plan intentionally, and never forget to evolve. If it's time for you to shift, but also get guidance, okay? Oh, it keeps going. But this is the last one, I promise. You are your biggest investment. Today's choices shape your brand's future, okay? So nurture your relationships, develop your skills, and build systems for lasting digital success. You're the biggest investment, as I said. So your story today determines your tomorrow. And that is why sometimes you find when you ask somebody, how did you start? They always have someone they mention at the start of their story, right? There's always a story in you. And people are the ones who are at the center of your evolution, of your personal brand. Next. Thank you. We are done.
Our desire is to see all of us empowered. All of us empowered. There's a certain level of confidence that comes with empowerment. You'll have a voice if you have empowerment. There's a certain level of nonsense you will not entertain if you are empowered. Is that okay?